Look, everything in crypto revolves around Bitcoin, so whatever your portfolio, whether you're holding Bitcoin, you're Bitcoin only, or holding a wide range of altcoins, you have to be keeping an eye on just what the heck old man BTC is doing. Everybody loves orange coin, and orange coin moves the market, and where it heads, there goes the rest of the market. Right now, it's just surged to new all-time highs this week, so the question we're asking today is, how long will this Bitcoin pump last? Therefore, how long will our altcoin pump likely last? And after that, think about what happens after a big Bitcoin pump. So stick around for that, but let's start with some historical comparisons because you need to understand the context in order to understand where we could be going to help us look around the corner. Bitcoin in 2013, okay? So over a decade ago, kind of sounds like ancient history considering how quickly crypto has progressed, but Bitcoin's early era is still relevant because price action's price action, baby. And if we go back and look at the second half of that year, you can see on the weekly chart that BTC had 6 bars of price discovery when it ran 781% before it hit a big correction. Now that was when Bitcoin first broke the $1,000 mark. And it was the peak of the bull run as BTC then spent the following year in a bear market. But after that, let's fast forward, okay, to Bitcoin in 2017. This was the next big bull run, and Bitcoin was climbing the entire year. So it's not exactly clear where you can say the exact periods of price discovery were definitely starting and giving these big run-ups. It was more of just a gradual run. But you can see there's a nice run of 6 bars in the first half of the year before a major correction. And then at the end of the year, it's a crazy end of the year, man. Oh my gosh. Then at the end of the year, when it was rallying hard in a full-on price discovery mode, at the final blow-off top part of the cycle, it ran for about 5 bars and put in a 254% gain during that time. That was the year when Bitcoin first cracked $10,000 and went on to finish the cycle at a peak just below 20K. Okay? And again, it then spent the following year in a brutal bear market, crashing back down to disgusting levels, right around $3,000 at the low. But after that, we can skip ahead to Bitcoin in 2021. But before we break down the 2021 price action, guys, if you're trading this market, I know you're trading this market, you need a good place to trade at. Somewhere it lets you long the rips, short the dips. Doesn't matter what country you live in, that place is BitUnix. No KYC, no VPN, available to literally everyone, everywhere, meaning you. Also, they got deep liquidity in all the big coins, so whether you want to trade Solana or Ethereum or exotic dog coins, they got you covered. And right now, limited time offer, link right down below here. If you sign up using that link, you're going to get a $400 deposit bonus. You deposit $1,000 to get $200 back, $2,000, they put $400 cash money back into your account. Plus, you can get up to $9,000 in trading bonuses. Links right down here. Go check it out. Thank you very much. Okay. 2021. There's a run of 7 bars starting like now in mid-July, not hitting a big correction until early September. Then the final cycle top at the end of 2021 came through another 7-bar run, 74% price discovery surge that took BTC to its 69K peak, okay? And again, the following year, it all came crashing the F down with the Terra Luna death spiral and the lenders and FTX blowing up and all the rest of the BS that nuked us down and to put in an eventual bear market bottom. And looking back now, man, what a crazy time. That was crazy, man. 2021, 2022. Anyway, let's look at a more recent run. Bitcoin in Q1 2025, okay? Here you can see and probably remember because, well, it was very recent. The price went on a run for 6 weeks from April to May, putting in 50% gains to get up to $112,000 before correcting back down to 98K by mid-June. Now, from all these past rallies, and there's more we could look at, there's ones in 23 and 24 and 2020, all this kind of stuff, but you get the general idea. It's apparent that it's usual at certain points during bull markets to get price discovery rallies that often last for 5, 6, 7 weeks on average. Let's say 6 weeks. Okay. So as for where we are right now, you can see that it's looking very much like we're in, well, week 2 of exactly such a rally. And in that case, if we follow past precedent that we have on average around 6 weeks of price discovery for Bitcoin before hitting a new major consolidation zone, we therefore might expect a significant correction sometime potentially around like the middle or end of August. Although, of course, that's an imprecise estimate, but it gives you a general time frame to be looking at. Also, it doesn't necessarily mean it's all over for the cycle after that, even though people will be calling it's the top forever and it's going to go down only now. In fact, August seems like a very early end for a cycle. Doesn't make sense on a whole variety of metrics, okay? We might still expect a final blow off top later in Q3 or Q4 of the year. 200K plus BTC, if we stick to the 4-year pattern, of course. If we get an extended cycle, well, shit, we may go a lot higher and a lot longer than people think, which is going to be exhausting, but it's coming. And Bitcoin goes to hundreds of thousands of dollars per coin in that scenario. But we have these 6-week markup periods followed by 3, 4, 5, 6-month consolidation periods followed by new markup periods. It'll be crazy if it plays out like that. Remember also that tops occur, whether local tops or the top, when the market gets overheated, and there are some signs to look out for as that approaches. We have Glassnode. They pointed out this week that when the price hit $122,000, that 100% of short-term holder supply was in profit. But the threshold for a high-risk overheated phase is around 88%. So, it's interesting. There are several other data points too indicating the same conclusion too, but a key point is that overheated conditions can continue for quite some time. I remember back in 2020, we had overheated conditions on like the RSI for weeks on end. Corrections always come though. Now, the top lags the indicators, so usually there's a bit of room for further upside, even as the risk level starts becoming more elevated. And Glassnode's data also shows that at $122,000 Bitcoin, we went 1 standard deviation above the short-term holder cost basis, while $136,000, a potential next stop, would put it 2 standard deviations above that point. Basically a point that might bring in profit taking from short-term holders looking to lock in their profits. The next local top could then come around there as an example, although I think 150K BTC is probably the more likely spot for a next local top. Okay, and then followed by a significant correction. Oh, the just stink around this place when we go from 150K back to 110K, which is like a 30% correction, which is totally standard and normal for Bitcoin, but everyone's gonna lose their minds. It'll be hilarious. We'll be laughing about it. Anyway, it's also entirely possible that if the euphoria ramps up enough, then Bitcoin could blow through that level, hitting 150K BTC, lining up the 2.6 Fibonacci level, something we talked about extensively here, okay? Followed by a 30% dip, the kind of dip we've seen after previous cycle rallies and previous local tops, taking it back again to around $110,000. It's none of this stuff that's surprising, which makes sense, of course, as that was the resistance level Bitcoin just had to break through, of course, for 110K to be support. And as for what happens after that, well, we could potentially get months of consolidation before another move. It's going to break a lot of people, although that's just one possibility, okay? Got to keep that in mind. Also, it appears right now that some kind of major altcoin impulse is starting. Everyone say, it's the altcoin season of altcoin seasons, the altcoin season of promise. Altcoins gotta go up in price for a certain amount of time, then they won't, okay? Bitcoin dominance right now is falling. ETH flipping, BTC in terms of mind share and price appreciation during this week is a big signal as well. Altcoin season index looks like it is heating up too, rising to its highest levels since last November. And as for how alts perform in relation to Bitcoin's major rallies into price discovery, if we take a look at the total 3 chart, which is a chart that measures the market cap of all the crypto coins of everything except Bitcoin and Ethereum, because those 2 coins together make up 70% or whatever of the market. So everything else. They compare this, of course, to the Bitcoin price shown by that pink line below the candlesticks. You can see that in 2021, when we had those 2 Bitcoin rallies with a correction in the middle, alts followed along in sync. Where Bitcoin goes, therefore goes the market. So if you're trading altcoins, then remember, the entire cryptocurrency market comes back in the end. It always does. And it'll also come back in the end to Bitcoin after everybody's done playing around with altcoins. It always does. You always need to remain fully aware when Bitcoin may be due for a correction. When Bitcoin starts correcting, altcoins usually have another week or two of wind left in the sails before they start correcting as well. It's a pattern that's played out many, many times, and maybe this time is different, but probably it's not. That being said, we still have a lot of fuel left in the tank. We still have a lot of chance for price appreciation. We've had some insane runs though, so if you are sitting on huge profits, just remember, there's nothing ever wrong with taking a bit of profits, okay? Nobody ever went broke taking profits, but they sure as heck went broke not taking any. Thanks for watching.